What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be reviewing the Game of Life, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End Edition. This game came out from Milton Bradley / Hasbro in 2007, and it is for 2 to 6 players. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Game of Life. It's a spin and move game, and the object is to basically make the most money. Well, same applies here. You're going to be using ships instead of cars, and you're going to actually be able to raid your opponent's ships, but you also have to watch out for the Calypso Curse. So without further ado, let's show you this game. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and show you the components to this game really quick. Right here you have your game board, and there are some mountains on here and just some little pieces of scenery on here, and of course you have the famous wheel that you're going to be spinning throughout the game. Right here you have 6 ships that you can choose from, and these are pretty nice. You just pick one of these and you're going to play with it. Right here we have 4 different types of cards, and I'll just kind of go over them right here. You have what are called life cards, and anytime you land on a life space, you're going to draw one of these cards, and you're simply just going to follow the directions on them. There's plenty of different types. There's some where you're going to be collecting life tiles, which are right over here. Others where you're going to be paying people. Others where people are going to be paying you. Some cards you're going to be swapping out different things like captains and things of that nature. So a lot of different things can happen with these cards for sure. Right here you have your captain card, and you're going to be picking one of these cards to represent your captain. And there's several different ones here. There's Elizabeth, there's Marty, there's Cotton, Will, you got Gibbs, you got Captain Jack Sparrow, of course, and then Captain Barbossa, and then Sao Feng. And there's a dollar amount on each of these. Anytime you pass a space that says share the loot, or if you land on it, you're going to collect that much money. It basically works as a salary of sorts. So he would get $700 and Captain Barbossa would get $800. Now, at the beginning of the game, you're going to basically pick 2 of these cards out of the deck at random, and then you're going to go ahead and just choose one of the cards to be your captain, and you just go from there. Right here you have your ship cards, and there's several of these as well. When you land in the shipyard over here, you're going to go ahead and stop, and then you're going to pick one of these. You're going to pick 2 of these cards up out of the deck, and then you're going to pick which one that you want. And whichever one you want, you're going to go ahead and pay the fee for. Here's the ships. It's the Cutter, the Frigate, the Brigantine, the Endeavor, the Black Pearl, which is the bigger one, the Empress, the Corvette, the Sloop, and then the Schooner. Now, you'll see that there's a combat value on these. Anytime you're doing a raid or involved in a raid, you're going to add that combat value to the number that is spun, and I'll talk about the raiding in a little bit. Now, there are going to be times where you actually be able to upgrade your ship if you land on the space that says acquire vessel. What you'll do is you'll go ahead and draw 2 more cards, and if you want or can afford to upgrade your ship, say you want to go from a combat 2 to a combat 3, you could go ahead and do that. You would just simply pay the fee, and then you would switch out the card. Here are the pieces of 8 card, and you're going to be getting those over here near the end. And then I'll just go ahead and show you what they are. There's the lock of hair, the single die, broken bottle, silk scarf, beads, tooth, pendant, sailing needle, and then the comb. And the significance of these is that in the end of the game, you're going to be counting up all of your life tiles, and certain ones are going to say lock of hair on it or whatever. If you happen to have the piece of 8 card and it matches this, this value is going to be doubled, and you're going to add that to your score. And again, all of those pieces of 8 are in here, and there's also some single value ones, here's one for $100, and there's others that are for $200. And you're going to be getting these life tiles basically when you land on these spaces over here, or if you draw one of the life cards that tell you to draw a life tile or even more life tiles. So in the beginning of the game, what you're going to do is you're going to draw 3 of these life tiles out at random, and you're going to place them face down on the side. So now certain captains are going to start from the Caribbean. Others are going to set sail from Singapore. Basically, the advantage is the people who are setting sail from Singapore have a chance to draw more life cards, etc. So essentially what you'll do is you'll go ahead and you'll spin the wheel, and let's say I'm blue, and he rolled the 5, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This says I have to go ahead and pay $200 for an ancient Chinese sea chart. So I'll go ahead and do it, and then it goes on to the next person. So the next person goes ahead and spins the wheel, and let's just say his captain is starting over here. he'll pass the share of the loot, so he'll get whatever his salary is, and he'll go 2. And in this one it says move to the next life space. So in this case he would sail over here, and then he would pick up a life card, and then he would just simply follow what it says. In this case it says collect 4 life tokens, and if you are Cotton, take an extra tile. Cotton being the captain. So there are certain advantages to being certain captains, because the life cards are going to reward you depending on the captain that you have. Now you will have the opportunity to switch out captains in this game, usually just by drawing the life cards, and I believe that there's some spaces on here where that'll allow you to do that as well. So anyway, once ever you get to the shipyard space, you're going to go ahead and draw for your ship, and you'll just go ahead and pay for it. And let me just go ahead and go over a few of the other spaces. There's a space here called Raid. Now what raiding means is that you're going to pick a player to go against, and you're going to both spin the wheel. So let's just say I happen to have a frigate and he happened to have a cutter. He's got a combo value of 1, I got a combo value of 2. So I'll go ahead and I will spin the wheel, and let's just say I rolled an 8. So since I rolled an 8, I would add 2 to it, and that is going to give me a power of 10. So the cutter is going to have to roll at least a 10, and he gets like a 4. So he adds that, and it's a 5. So my raid was successful. So in this case, I will go ahead and spin the wheel again, and whatever number I spin, I'm going to times that by 100. So this is $600, so my opponent is going to go ahead and pay me $600. Now, if my opponent ended up winning the battle, then I would not pay him anything. But if it turned out that I was battling the Black Pearl and I ended up beating the Black Pearl, then I would automatically get that ship from him, and I would give him mine. There's also a space here that says Curse of Calypso. Right here. If you land on that space, you're going to have to spin the wheel, and you're going to pay the bank 100 times the amount. So in this case, if I landed on the Curse of Calypso over here and I rolled a 3, then I would end up paying $300 to go to the bank, and that's basically how that works. So basically you're just going to keep on spinning and rolling, and then the first player that gets over here is going to get to pick from the 3 secret life tiles. So we'll go ahead and look at them, and say I picked the comb, because it turns out that I happen to have the comb as my piece of 8, so that would make this $800. And now another thing will happen is, even though I've reached home, I'm not out of the game yet. I will get to spin the wheel on my turn. If I've rolled a 10, I will get to draw another life tile. Also, I'll be free of raids, so nobody will be able to raid my ship, but people can still steal life tiles from me, even though I'm at home via these cards over here. So the second player that reaches Shipwreck City is going to choose from the remaining 2 tiles. We'll get to look at them. And then the third player who gets in will take the last tile. The other ships, if there's more than 3 players, will not receive any life tiles. So then what everybody's going to do is they're going to go ahead and count up their money. They're going to count up how much their ship is worth. They're going to count up all of their life tiles. And whoever has the most amount of money and possessions is going to win the game. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Game of Life Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. So my thoughts on the Game of Life Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Okay, well, if you do not like the Game of Life, you're not going to like this game. It's not much different than the other ones out there. This, again, is a spin and move game. There's absolutely no strategy with this game at all. You're just going to basically spin and follow the directions that's either on the board or on the cards, and then of course you're going to have the opportunity to buy ships, get pieces of 8, and hopefully at the end of the game you'll have the most amount of money. So what do I like about the game? Well, I think the theme looks really nice. I like the way the board looks. The cards look really nice. And the ship tokens are really nice too. Those actually go for about $10 on eBay for a set of them. So there's some nice components to this game. I think they did a good job with the pirate theme for sure. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, it's very simple. You know, there's not much you have to really think about in this game. You just simply spin, follow the instructions, spin, follow the instructions, and then, you know, you'll do the occasional battle and things of that nature. So I would have to say, as far as comparing it to other life games, I'd say this is probably a little bit on the better side, because there is the fun of raiding other people's ships, and there's always a little bit of satisfaction when you're actually able to get money from them and such. This is a game I might pull out once in a blue moon if we're just wanting to play something quick and to relax and we don't have to think a lot and we don't have to think about strategy or anything like that. I would probably pull this game out. So I would think that if you are a fan of the Game of Life, you might want to check out this version. Now, if you look behind me, I have another version here called Dead Man's Chest. It's another Pirates of the Caribbean game, and basically it plays the exact same as this one. The only thing different between these two is that there's mascots instead of pieces of 8, and you have Davy Jones' locker as opposed to Calypso's curse. But other than those few things, the gameplay is the exact same. So if you have Dead Man's Chest, you really do not need to get this game unless you're a fan of the series, and you might want to get it. Life has been around for years. It's always been a family fun game. I think this one kind of fits the bill in that era. So it just has the Pirates theme to it, and if you enjoy Pirates and you enjoy Life, you might want to check this out. So guys, that is my review of this game. I hope you all have a great day. Keep on gaming. Arr!